The Black Jesus story was probably one of the most shocking things I ever heard. In the 1960s, there was a black man in Africa who came in with abilities complementary to those of Jesus. He was performing miracles. He was starting to get people to listen to what he had to say, and the cabal tried to kill him. And remember, I was told at the time that if I disclosed this, that I would be killed. And I ended up putting it in the book anyway.
Shalom, call halal Yahweh Shem Yoshua Bashem Mechak double honor should be on our apostles and our bishops, a great millstone, even the elders that came before them. The tell us the truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers that push the word of truth and in sincerity, the elect tabernacle of David. I'm the elder Yashawan, and it came to me as soon as I heard that David Wilcock was one of the scientists, right? One of the 12 or 11, whatever they're called. I'm like, wait a minute. If they killed him, first thing that came to my mind is he said that they were going to kill him if he put that in the book. So, what did I put? Oh, it's on my phone. So I looked it up on the phone under. I typed in. What did I typed in David Wilcock Black Jesus, right? Because I was going to go look for, him saying that. And this came up, this video, right? Mind of Bazel. I don't know what that is, but 7 hours ago. Now, I had this thought about 5-6 hours ago. So we might have had that at the same time. And then I'm like, the spirit was on me. It was like, you should do a lesson on that, because that guy said out of his own mouth that the Rothschilds were going to kill him, or the Illuminati was going to kill him if he put that in the book. Now, what I heard, I don't know if this brother here, Mind of Bazel, is going to say it or not, but I heard that 2 days before Wilcock died, that his publisher died. Okay? I heard that his publisher died 2 days before Wilcock died. So let's see if this brother here brings that out at all, because that adds an even greater arrow, if you will, to what? Right? They went and got the publisher too for publishing it, right? Or whatever. Let's see if this brother brings that out or not. But the fact that his publisher died 2 days before David goes to what? It goes to the book. And putting what? It goes to Simeon Toko. All right. So anyway, I'm gonna just carry on from here and we'll see where it goes. I'm not sure what he's gonna say, but I put 2 and 2 together in the spirit and was like, wait a minute, this guy said something about his book. And then when I heard about the publisher, I'm like, now I got to do a lesson on it. So see how the brother breaks it down.
Peace and love, family. Peace and love. It's yours truly, the Mind of Bazel. And it is with a heavy heart that we reveal today.
He's clearly an effeminate witch, but we'll let him talk.
David Wilcock has, according to the authorities, unalived himself. And it's been reported that authorities were called to his home yesterday, April the 21st, in Boulder, Colorado. They were called there because it was reported he was having a mental health crisis. And when those authorities arrived on the scene, he was outside holding a weapon. And then they said within minutes, he then turned that weapon on himself and was pronounced dead at the scene. Now, what you'll be hearing today is an excerpt from Coast to Coast Radio, where David Wilcock was asked by a caller about a story that he put in one of his books about a man by the name of Simeon Toko, who is also known as the Black Jesus, that the powers that be were aware of and tried to stop. David received this information by a member of the Rothschilds, and David had said by even putting this information in his book that he was putting himself at risk of being unalived. So the question is, did this really play out as the authorities have said, or was something else at work here? Regardless of what, this is what David had to say on Coast to Coast.
Read a precept real quick, because this is all we've known about this for years. First of all, so this isn't new. And some Negro in a scarf and some shit locks, just because he did figure that out. But let's see if he gets the publishing part. Let's get Second Corinthians real quick. 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his device. We know what Satan is up to. We understand who this guy is. We understand that suddenly. See, you know what's going on right now? They're pushing real hard. The Book of Enoch connected with, what is it? The UFO story and Genesis, whatever. And the Book of Enoch and the fallen angels and the giants. They're pushing that real hard now. All right, so don't be confused.
Check it out.
So,
listen up.
Satan got to come in.
Chris in Long Island, New York. Well, welcome to Coast. Say hi to David Wilcock.
Hey, Jimmy. Hey, Dave. How you guys doing?
Doing good, Chris.
Well, I had a question for David in terms of reading his new book, Defense Mysteries, which I'm very enjoying very much.
Thanks.
And one of the chapters was Nikola Tesla, the Pete Peterson and Nikola Tesla Black Ops.
Yep.
One of them is about Black Jesus, where there's a ascended being appearing in Africa.
Yep.
And I just want to know if you know any more information you would share with us, because I thought that was very captivating to me. And I just wanted more information on it.
Yeah, the Black Jesus story. The Black Jesus story was probably one of the most shocking things I ever heard. It came from my insider Jacob, I call him that in the book, who actually was working for the Rothschilds and still does, and also is a whistleblower who doesn't really do what they want, but continues to work for them because he feels like there's some very serious extraterrestrial threats to Earth, and that what they're doing is very necessary to protect us. So the story goes that in the 1960s, there was a black man in Africa who came in with abilities complementary to those of Jesus. And he was performing miracles. He was starting to get people to listen to what he had to say. And the cabal tried to kill him, and they could shoot him in the head and his skull would just regenerate and the flesh would grow back, and he was fine. And so the crazy story that I heard, which and remember, I was told at the time that if I disclosed this, that I would be killed, and I ended up putting it in the book anyway. The story was that this guy, they finally said, okay, we're going to bring you to the United Nations and share your...
And that was the part that he would be killed. He ended up putting it in the book anyway. He was killed, along with his publishers, what I'm hearing. Let's see if that's going to come out.
With the world, let's get you on this flight. They bring him on this flight, and instead of bringing him to the United Nations, they shot him repeatedly, and then actually had some kind of meat grinder device, and...
That we're not ignorant of. We know about the meat grinder device and Satan's devices. Okay? And we know because this is old footage. We've heard about this.
Basically like a bandsaw, I guess, and sawed up his body into a whole bunch of pieces, put him in these very like radioactive shielded containers, and then had all these fighter jets dock with the plane and fly his body parts to all corners of the world, where then these containers turned them into ash. And they thought that maybe this would defeat him, like that his body somehow, the tissue was necessary. So if they destroyed all the tissue in all these places across the world, maybe they could defeat him. Well, he then regenerated in their offices. and was fully fine, fully intact. But the sad part is that he said, you guys so badly do not want me to be here that I am not going to be able to do any more. You're going to get what you want, but bear in mind that in the future, many others like me will be coming, and when they do, you will not be able to stop us.
Wow. Wow.
Well, that is all I know. Unfortunately,
right.
There's nothing more to the story than that.
Incredible.
But it is an incredible story.
Incredible.
It is genuinely recounted by witnesses that Simeon Toko appeared before people in an apparitional body and in dream states while he was physically alive. At least one witness who was hired to kill him said he personally killed this man, quite professionally, as a hired killer, and saw him alive again a few days later. Others still living at the time of this writing said that they saw Toko physically slaughtered and watched him bring himself back to life before their astonished eyes. There is a very large body of testimony, of which only a little has yet been recorded or written down from eyewitnesses. This is the story of the man who single-handedly gave defeat to the Belgian army. The truth is stranger than fiction. The unbelievable spiritual power of one man that overcame the Belgian army. Is this a real-life African avatar? It all began because Leopold II wanted his country to join the League of European Empires, but the Belgian state refused to finance its part in Western Europe's expensive scramble for Africa, so they outsourced the task to Leopold, who used personal diplomacy to convince the European powers to grant him control of a large portion of the Congo Basin. He promised to bring civilization to the so-called Dark Continent. Christ in the Congo Free State in 1885, Leopold's playground was an astonishing 17 times the size of Belgium, comprised largely of unmapped jungle. It was initially a huge financial burden, but when worldwide demand for rubber boomed, Leopold cashed in. Congolese workers were sent out into the jungle to slash down vines and layer their bodies with rubber latex. Later, they would scrape it off their skin, often taking flesh and hair with it. Their work was labor-intensive and injurious to health. The only economical way to collect it was via the forced mobilization of Congolese society. The Congo Free State evolved from a vanity possession into a slave plantation. According to history today, Leopold's hell operated by an insane logic. Villages were set quotas of rubber, and the gendarmerie were sent in to collect it, a process that was sped up by looting, arson, and rape. If a village failed to reach its quota, hostages would be taken.
I'm really interested in hearing all that. I want to hear if he's going to mention whether or not this was his publisher was killed. Otherwise, I can try to wrap this up.
Was unjustly incarcerated submissively, the docile prisoner crawled under the engine to fix it. When he was under the engine, the foreman sitting in the driver's seat started it up.
So he did
Simeon Toko stood up and ordered the plane to stop. The aircraft stopped in midair. It stood still, not advancing an inch, nor rose or fell backward. The crew was stricken by panic. The priest could hardly breathe, and hoarsely, "Give me my heart back." Simeon Toko, showing the big scar where he was operated on by his killers, who took out his heart. He woke up without a heart, stood up, and asked for his heart back. During the night of December 31st to January 1st, 1984, when the media announced the death of Simeon Toko, thunderclaps of virtually seismic force and torrential rain burst the skies of Luanda. It had not rained in this area for several years. Meteorologists were mystified. For 3 days the rain fell continuously. The occurrence of this event was attributed to all the rumors surrounding the death of this great prophet.
Every day that I have on earth is a gift and a blessing, and I'm very grateful for that, because frankly, people are disappearing. Scientists are going missing. Now they're saying they're going to investigate this. The president himself is saying they're going to look into this and see if anything's going on. It's a little bit scary. I got to say, it's a little bit scary, but you guys knew that I might still show up even though it was last minute and I've had a really rough week. Like, that's kind of like every week, but somehow we keep on making it through all of this.
So that's where they're going to end it. Let's look at the comments real quick. Is there anything about his Was publisher. That's what I heard. Semitaka was the second coming of Christ. No, coming back in a chariot. Okay, so it's not saying nothing. Let's ask a question then, and then I think we've done enough. But here's what's going on. Whatever they're doing, or whatever they are not doing. David Wilcock. C-K-S. Spell that right? Publisher. Dies 2 days before him. Question. Now, if this is true, saying something. Slovakia. Come on, AI. Come on, AI. Oh, come on, AI. AI is welching. Not giving it to me, is it? Okay, I'm going to ask it on my phone. Slovakia. Apparently this can refuse to answer my question, but usually, let me see. Did David Wilcox die there were claims in online community that his biographer or associate passed away shortly before him, but this does not specifically refer to a mainstream book. So biographer. Let's get through. See how this thing does? You have to make it by okay, now let's ask it. It says circulated that his biographer died 2 days prior. Reportedly died on April 18th. Come on. See how it's just right here. Filmmaker and associate Jay Weidner highlighted this timing, stating, in a weird twist of fate, David Wilcock's biographer, Winfrey, died on the 18th of April, 2 days before David. I wonder why. The reported deaths are part of a series of alleged unconfirmed or unexpected deaths of UFO researchers and scientists mentioned by Wilcock himself just days before his own reported passing. Well, apparently it was a standoff with the cops. So here we are. Winfrey, right? Winfrey, Oprah's boyfriend, right? His biographer. Did he write on that particular book? They killed them both. Why? 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his device. I just wanted to look into that because it's it's a lot, right? So yeah, I'm gonna use this. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna close. I just I thought I should do a little, let's get this real quick. This is Sirach 5. Let's get 5. Got to know these things. See, so that brother, he wasn't able to put the wind free. Sirach 5:15, be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or small. You tell me if it's a great matter or small. With that, we pray that the elect will edify you, brother and sister. Shalom.